So now guys, we are starting for Python. So now coming to the origin of Python. So Python was, as we know, it's a very popular language. So you all are over here to learn this language. Now it was created by in 1991 by Guido van Rosen. Now he's the founder. Now you might be thinking that even this technology is from 1991, then why it is popular now? It is getting popular more nowadays. Now, what happened in the 1990s and so on in the previous technological languages? Over there, people thought that I will develop the things and I will be only the sole creator of everything. I won't use others written codes. I won't use other written libraries. I will create my own. So for this concept of for this mentality of the things, people at that time used C++ as the most popular languages at that era because what is happening, because people want to create their own things, and for that reason C++ are and Java also are the most preferred language. But Java also has some predefined libraries. Okay, so then what happened then at 2004 2005 era of machine learning and AI coming into play. So at that time people can't waste their time. They got to know that they can't waste their means efficient time to such a things for developing those things which are already being created or developed. So they can't waste their time. So when they got to know this, from that time Python and other languages which has a predefined libraries build up come into play. And when Python was coming into play, then more and more libraries, predefined libraries, Python, then Python 2, then Python 3, all the versions are getting upgraded and more easier things come into play into the action. So this is how Python is the very popular programming language nowadays. Now coming to several other points, I believe the system is a little slow. Let the system grab the thing. Let us move forward. Okay. So now, what are the application of Python as I told? So the applications of Python are web development, means in the field of web development. Now, how to go for the web development? Now, you might be thinking that we will be not doing HTML, CSS. Actually, HTML, CSS are the basics of development. Okay, so you cannot skip that. But Python could be used as the backend language for the web development, hosting language or backend language, API language, anything. So for this purpose, Python could be used, but the front end will be always HTML and CSS. No other languages could be used in the front end part. Now, what is front end and back end? If you are confused, then go to our YouTube and search for Teckat evolution, and you will be finding certain web development concepts and videos related to HTML, CSS, and other things. If you want to know what is HTML, CSS, and how to work with those, what is front end, what is back end, you can refer to our videos on YouTube. So now we are on the platform of Python, so we will discuss only on Python now. So software development. Now, what is the software? Many softwares like the system means system-oriented software, operating the Windows-oriented software, Mac-oriented software. So these softwares are many softwares use the backend and the front-end language as Python. So at that time, so software development is also a thing. Now mathematics. Now mathematics, there are two important aspects of mathematics. One is Python and another is MATLAB. Both are designed. MATLAB is specially designed for mathematics, but Python is also can be used for basics mathematics, and you can use those things for calculating tougher mathematics, tough maths. Now, why tough maths? Because in Python, you are there is no limit of data. For example, when you're using C, C++, Java, there is a limit that int consists of this much byte of data, float consists of this many byte of data. If you exceed this many byte of data, then it will not store the data. It will throw an error. Now in Python, it is a dynamic language. Now it will just allocate whatever data you are giving to it. It will allocate it as per the data that is given. If the same variable can be stored for storing string, the same variable can be stored for storing integer, the same variable can be stored for storing any other data types. Okay. Now, system scripting. Now, what is system scripting? There are many scripting languages in the system that are already told, like the software development requires many system scripting languages. So those languages like the console log, these are all scripting languages. So you can, Python is used one of the scripting languages. Now, computation and analysis. This is where machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence coming into play. It is all about computation, analysis, data science. All are the platforms of Python. So there are several fields. Now you need to choose after going to the basic which field you're going to research and develop the things. So it's upon you whatever you choose. Now, if you are in Python, then this computation and analysis is the most preferable field that you can choose if you are opting your career in Python. Now, coming to why actually Python is choose. Now, there are many benefits. Like I've already told, it is a dynamically typed languages. Means no need to declare the type of the variable it is. Okay. Now, it has existence on different platforms. Like it exists in Linux, Raspberry Pi, Windows, and everything else. Many other platforms. Now, it has a very simple syntaxes. When you will be doing, you will be coming into play. It has a simple means orientation of the things. Like you can say that you can say something like functions are simpler than other languages, syntaxes are simpler than other languages. Now, usage is simpler than other languages. Now, when it comes to the play of usage, if you might be from the programming background, then you know that in C++, if you want to sort, there are many techniques of sorting, like there are bubble sort, then there are insertion sort, and many other sorting techniques are there. Now, coming into play with these many sorting techniques, over here in Python, the sorting has become so simpler. With a simple function call, you can sort the values, the numbers, the characters, and everything. Whatever you want to sort, you can sort it with a simple function sort. So this is how simpler Python has made the things. It has made the things so simpler nowadays. Now, if we go to the next point, that Python has syntax that allows developers to write programs with fewer lines. This is what I was meaning to say, that it has certain things that makes us to write a fewer lines. In other languages, we are writing 5 to 10 lines. In Python, we can do it in 1 or 2 lines. So this is what it has a very good thing into it. Now it is on an interpreter system. That means whenever you write the code, automatically it will just interpret the code and execute the code and give you the output. Yeah, uh, every time you do it. Now in this for this session, we will use VS Code. But actually, if you are going for the Python, then you will be getting for the basics, you will be getting Jupyter or Anaconda. Okay, so it's not that we'll not do it. We'll do some basics on Anaconda and Jupyter, and then we'll shift to VS Code. Okay, so now coming to this next point, that Python can be treated as a procedural way or object-oriented way. Now, what is this? There is a concept of both. Procedural way means you are going for a procedure. Means you can say functions are, you're calling functions step by step, and one by one functions have been called. That is a procedural way. But when it comes to the object-oriented way, then you need to enable the existence of class and object. Now, class and object is over here is a bit different than the other class and objects that we studied in C, C++. So it is a bit different concept, but it is still a good concept and more secured concept. Now, moving to the next slide. So it's a writing style of Python. Now, what is the writing style of Python? It has a indentation orientation. Means indent orientation. That means over here we use blank spaces to define a block. The existence of the scope of a particular block. For example, we had a function, maybe ABC. So the function has some block. Means till there only it is existing, and after that the function we will be getting out of the function. So that existing functional scope you can denote using white spaces, and that is known as indentation. Okay, and in other programming language we use curly braces for defining a block. Now what is ideally? Now this works on the ideally environment, that is integrated development and learning environment. Okay. Now what it allows for cross compilation. Okay. Means it allows for getting compiled in different suites and different sectors. So this is what ideally is basically defined, and it allows us to do a lot of things. Okay. And that is the reason that it is easily integrated with Raspberry Pi and other means microcontrollers also. You might have heard of Raspberry Pi. It is the most popular micro PC, you can say, microcomputer. So now in Linux, it is not predefined. So we need to install it. If you are using a Linux, then you can install this using this code, that is sudo apt-get install ideally. This you need to write in the terminal, because in Linux we don't have console, we call it as terminal. So in terminal you need to write this sudo apt-get install ideally, and it will be getting installed. Now, coming to next, ideally is basically used to execute single statement like Python shell, and also create, modify, and execute Python scripts. So, which means it is the basic thing that I've already told, that helps the things to be executed in a simpler manner in statements, single statements. Okay. So before starting the program, let me tell you where to go and how to install the things. So I will just shift to my browser. I will just go to my browser right over here, and I will just write Anaconda, because I use Anaconda. You can use Python directly, Python 3, whatever platform you want to use, you can use it. So I'm using Anaconda. Just write down the steps, because the steps are very, very important. I will go to anaconda.org, and over here you need to sign up and download Anaconda. See over here I have download Anaconda and individual, and I will just get the download over here. When you click it, you will get the downloads, and you need to just download the Anaconda software. Okay. Now coming to, when you download Anaconda software, now coming to search, let me go for the search. When I will write Anaconda, you can get a software like this. Now I will just open this. I will just open this. It will take a little time to get open. So I will just switch on to the browser screen and tell you what is Anaconda is. Now, Anaconda is a solution, one solution for different platforms. Over here, you get many notebooks like Jupyter Notebook, then you get Spider. Okay, so this is this is one solution for different platforms. Okay, now other than this, what you can install? Other than this, you can directly write over here Python IDE. Now, when you write Python, you have PyCharm. You can install this. This is by JetBrains, PyCharm. Now, will be Python 3. Okay, required Python 3. You can do this from Python org. Okay, this is the latest versions you will get over here. You can directly install from here. But I prefer Anaconda, so I'm going for Anaconda, because Anaconda consists of Jupyter, and I prefer that. Now, this is the message that it is showing, and you will find Anaconda right over here. So see, when you open Anaconda, you will find a box like this. Now you get whatever you're getting. Jupyter Lab. This is also a platform where you can write your codes over here in Jupyter Lab. Jupyter Notebook. Now in Notebook, I prefer this basically Jupyter Notebook. Now Spider is also where you can write VSCode. This will be using actually once we have done this. We have completed basics and Jupyter Notebook will shift to VSCode. Okay, so we'll set up everything today only. So for launching Jupyter Notebook, you need to press on launch. When you press on launch, then the process will be going on. You can see over here the process is going on, and once the process is continued, is over, then you will find it will shift into the browser screen. See, it's asking me to open the file. Now I'm opening in Chrome, and it will open the browser. See, this is the manner how it is getting opened. Now I want to create a new file. So for that, I need to come to this section and create new and new Python 3. When I do this, a new file gets created, and I will be able to get those files. So it's taking a little time. So let us wait a little bit so that it gets its time to open. Now it has an open C. So over here, whatever we write, it's executed. Now I told you about the interpreter language, right? So this is a part. You can have many other sections. This is a new section. You can have many other sections. Now each section over here in Jupyter Notebook does not interrelate with the other sections. Okay, like for example over here I write int. There is no require of int. Let me write a statement. I will explain you what is this statement all about and how to do this. Like I'm writing print hello and I'm just executing it, run. So it will execute this file only. Now I write print hello, print Teckat over here. Now when I execute this, it will only execute this statement. It has no matter what this statement is doing over here. So this is what interpreter language, one of the whenever you write and execute, it will execute that line and it will give you the output. So it is an explanation of the interpreter language in Python. Now coming to other parts like coming to the programming. Now I will just remove these things. I will just remove these things. Okay. So coming to the over here. Now we will not work on this Jupyter. We will be going to work on VS Code because Jupyter is easier, but we cannot complicate with the things in Jupyter. It will get little complicated. But in VS Code, we get suggestions, we get many other things. It's a good platform for writing codes. So that is why we will going to shift to the VS Code. Now, where to get the VS Code? Now, to get a VS Code, first of all, you need to come to the browser, right over here, VS Code. Now, VS Code, you need to write, if you write VS, only VS, then it will take you to Visual Studio. Okay, now it's giving Visual Studio Code over here, but if you go to the actual VS full form is Visual Studio Code. Now, if you write only Visual Studio, then it will give you some other thing. It is a different thing than Visual Studio Code. Over here also we just code the things, but this is not what we require. This is a very heavy, huge software, and we won't do this. We will use VS Code, Visual Studio Code. And now you need to go to the way. Now let me tell you, Visual Studio Code is an open software, means open platform, open source software given provided by Microsoft. Okay, now from here you need to select which operating system you are working on. It is Windows, it is Linux, it is Mac. I need to download it. Now you need to download this table, this part, not the insider. Okay, I have downloaded Windows 64-bit and I'm using that. Once you download this, you will find the VS Code over here. Let me open the VS Code. Here is my VS Code. I will just open this. Excuse me. Now, when you open the VS Code, you will be getting a platform like this. I will just go to the part where we require it. Yeah. So we're gonna code it somewhere over here. Okay. In Webinar 3.0, you will find all your codes over here. I will give the link in your mail ID so that you can clone it. Now, you will be getting the codes they get. So I will be telling you how to utilize those codes and how to get those codes. Now, coming to over here, that this is something that so when you open it, it will be something like this. Let me tell you how it will be. Something like this, not this also. This terminal will also be not there. Okay, so it will be showing you something like this. You will be getting a user interface. Now, what all these things are? This is the option bar where you will be creating new file, new window, open recent, and everything else. This is the option bar. Now coming to over here, this is the edit bar. These all things we require very less. There's a selection view and many other things are there. So this is all the things. Now this is the taskbar, you can say, where we have the Explorer. Okay, Explorer. Now over here, the folder that we have opened, the folder that we have created, inside that folder, everything will be shown over here. Whatever files we consist of, whatever things we have, everything will be shown inside this folder. Now, if you want to search in the overall section, means if you want to search a name of the file, like if I write Python, and if I'm searching Python, then it will show where Python keyword has been used in the entire part. See, in this folder, in this file, Python is used this many times. In this file, Python is used over here. In this file, here we have the Python. So this is it. You can get it over here in the search. Now this is Git. This is something in the higher version. If you know Git, it is well and good. If you don't know Git, then you can study it, or else you can leave it. It is not required actually. Now coming to this, these are the extensions. Now over here we will get all the extensions. Now you just make a note that what are the extensions you need to install. Over here, how to install the extensions. For example, I am using Python. So first of all, I need to write Python over here. When I search for Python, this extension is very, very important. Python linking by Microsoft. Python linting debugging by Microsoft. This extension is very, very important. You need to just click on this, and there you will be finding an install. See, I have already installed, so it is giving me disable and uninstall. You will find an install option over here. For example, if I click this, I'm getting an install. Similarly, when you click this, you will be finding an install over here. You need to install this, and that's it. Now there is a Python extended. You can just note it down. Python extended. This you need to install. This is by Taiwo Kareem. Now, if we move forward with this, then let me see if any other things I have installed. No, not over here. Now, coming to my extension library, you install this auto close tag. This is not required. You may not install this. Wait a minute. Let me show you bracket colorizer. This is important. Bracket pair colorizer. Now, what it does when we have multiple brackets? For example, see over here the example you can see right over here. You have one curly bracket and one curly bracket inside it. This is another curly bracket. Now both the brackets have different colors, which denotes that this bracket closes over here and this bracket closes over here. So this is how bracket colorizer helps us to colorize the brackets. Okay. Next you can install code spell checker. This will help you to write a proper code spellings. If you provide a spelling mistake, then it will allow you to just rectify those spelling mistakes. So code spell checker is over here. Now let me move forward. Editor config for VSCode. This is important. Now error lens. This is important. Error lens is important. Now if you are using GitHub, then GitLens is also important. Indent rainbow. This is also a good one, indent rainbow. Now, what is this indent rainbow? As we are going for a indenting language, so it will allow us that with different colors that this particular block comes over here and ends over here. This denotes different colors. So it will help us with the colors, indent rainbow. Excuse me. Now, if you want themes, then you can use material icon theme. I like it, so I'm using it. Now, Magic Python. This is also important for Python. This will help you highlighting the things, highlighting, cutting, giving you suggestions. This will help you. Prettier code formatter. This will help you to format the codes. Python, I've already explained. Python extended, I've already told. You can download this reload extension. Reload extension is also important. You can just note it down, make a note of it. Reload extension. And Visual Studio IntelliCode. This is also important. Okay. That's it. These are the things that are important and that needs to be created. Okay. Now, after doing these all things, now we can go to the this section, Explorer section, and we can create a new file. Now, for creating a new file, you need to just come over here, click on the folder where you want to create, and I will just create a folder. Now, this is a folder and this is a file. Okay. Now, coming to the folder, I will just write on in the folder's name like today's session one. Now, what is session one? The first week is considered as session one, and inside session one, we will have another folder for day one. Day one, and inside, okay, day one will, we may write it not a folder, but we can take it as a file name. So we are in session one, and inside this we'll create a file day one dot py. Now .py is the extension that denotes that this is a Python file. When you write .py, see, if you don't write .py, it has some other icon. When you write .py, it will change it to Python icon. So this is what .py denotes. It denotes it's a Python file. And now, in normal languages like C, C++, and other languages, we have means we have a plan, write a main function, and when the main function is executed, from there only the program starts. Now over here there is not a no main function. This entire sheet is a main function, means main sheet. Whatever you write, it will get executed. Okay. Now over here, when you press, if you don't get a terminal over here, you can directly come over here and provide a terminal. It will provide you a terminal right over here, or else you can use control and backtick. Backtick is just you have escape at the top left corner, and below escape is just down of it, you will find a backtick option. So we'll just have control the backtick and you will find the terminal right over here. Okay, so this is our terminal, and over here only we will execute the codes. Now we will not go for the codes because many other things are left yet to be done. Now even if we are, I'm just closing this anaconda, I will be not using this anaconda. So what I was telling, that even if we have anaconda and VSCode, till then we haven't completed one step to set up our code. And that step is the setting of environment variables. Now when you will be installing anaconda, you will be getting a path of anaconda. Now in my case, I will go to the users. I'm going to see, I will go to users, and inside that I will go to the over here I've installed anaconda 3. Over here you can see it is name of anaconda 3. Inside that I will require this path, anaconda 3 path, the scripts path, and the bin library inside this path. Okay, so these are the paths that we actually require. Now I will show you where to use this path. Now coming to over here, you need to write control panel, or you can go directly with control panel, or else you can right click on this PC, go to the properties, right click on this PC, go to the properties. Okay, now coming to the properties, you need to go to the advanced system settings. Over here, coming to the advanced system setting, you will find environmental variables. Now in the environmental variables, what happens, now you might be writing your codes in some other folder, but your application of that code means you can say anaconda may be some other folder, and you may be writing the codes in some other folder. So on that occasion, what happens, if you set the environment variable, it doesn't matter where the anaconda path is. If you execute the code from any other folder, it will take you to that particular path. So this is what environmental variables help us to do. Now I will just click on the environmental variables, and over here I will go to the path. Over here you can see path, and I will just set the path over here. Now, you can set the path over here in the user end as well as in the system end. So I have set the path in the system end. So I will just show you. See over here in the system end, you have the path. Now, what are the paths? This is Anaconda 3, Anaconda 3 scripts, and Anaconda 3 library bin. Now, how to get this path? Now, over here, when you click this, when you get the folder, you will click this, copy this, and paste it over here. Now, how to come to this over here and create a new, and over here you need to just paste the path. Over here you need to just paste the path that you copied from there. That's it. So this is how it is done. So Anaconda 3 path. Now scripts is over here. You need to open this file and copy this path. That's it. And in the library you will find bin and open the bin and copy this path. That's it. These many paths you need to copy it and paste it, and that's it. You are done. All over. And now you need to just press OK. Do not press cancel. You need to press OK. Once you press OK, it will take a time, and then you need to, over here there will be an apply button. As I made no changes, there is no apply. When you make some changes, there will be an apply button over here. You need to press the apply. Do not press OK. You need to press this apply. Once it is applied, you press OK, and this will be over. Now, when this will be over, when you write Python over here, it will just open, give you all the details and open the shell. So if this is happening, that means your code is set up well and you are ready to execute. Now, when you will be checking this, and you need to exit this shell because we don't require it over here. So you can write directly exit. Sorry, I missed a function, exit function, and you need to just press it and it will be over. Okay. So this is how you need to set up Python with VS Code. In case of Anaconda, you need not do anything. Just install Anaconda, open the Jupyter notebook, and write your codes. But in case of VS Code, as it is a third-party software, so what do you need to do? You need to link your Anaconda, means that is a Python ID, with the VS Code, so that the compilation could be done through Anaconda, but the program could be written in VS Code. And if you want to know the version, then I believe this is the way how we check version, double dash version, and you will find the latest version of Python. Now the latest version is 3.7.5, and I'm using 3.7.4. Now this terminal is very, very useful for upgrading the versions, for getting the newer versions and everything. But only you need is the internet connection connected to it for upgrading and installing some softwares from the internet. Okay. But we have already installed Python, so now we don't require anything. If we require in future, we will just get to know. Okay, so this is how we just go with the things and connect it. Now coming to the last and the only thing that I will say today, that is starting with hello world. Okay, now for printing Python, in Python we don't use we use cout in C++. We use printf in C. We use system.out.println in Java, and many other languages use many other things. Okay, so over here we use print in Python for printing anything, either variable, either your text, character, anything, string, anything. Whatever you require in this. Okay. Now this is the print function. This is the function. Whenever you have the braces over here, the brackets, first bracket over here, you require this is denoted as a function, and you need to pass on the data what you need to print. So in single quote or double quote. Now over here there is no difference between single quote and double quote. There is uh, means when you are utilizing the data, then only you have the difference in single quote and double quote. So when we will be going forward, I will just explain you what is the difference between the single quote and double quote, and where to use what. Actually, you can use anytime, anywhere, but there is a difference. Guidance when to use what code. So I will just tell you when we move on to the process. Okay. So now in the double quotes or single quotes, you need to write your hello world. I'm writing hello Teckat. This is what I write. And now for executing the code. Now for executing this code, I have to use, I will just save the code first. Till then, I don't save the code. It will show you a dot. Now it is showing a cross. That means I saved the code. Okay. It's still showing me. Now it's showing cross. You can see now it is showing cross. That means the code has been saved, and now I can execute it. For executing the code, I need to write over here Python. This is the I'm using Python compiler. So this is Python. And now the path, which code I want to execute. Now for path, you need to write dot slash. Dot slash means in the current folder. In the current folder, I want to execute this from webinar 3.0. See over here, you will find the path. So I will be just going webinar 3.0. Sorry, webinar 3.0. Okay, now why there is a slash over here? I used spaces over here. So I will just, if you don't want to use spaces, then you can directly write the name. Okay, because I'm just removing the spaces right over here. Okay, I removed the spaces, and now I'm just changing the path, webinar 3.0, and inside this I will write execute session 1, and inside it I will execute day 1.5. So this is how I'm writing the path. It's the same path that is given over here. You need to write that same path, and then you need to execute it. When you execute it, you will find the data that yes, it is giving us hello Teckat. So whatever you want to write, you can write it over here and you can execute it. So for today, we will not go much more deeper than this because we have made a lot of concepts. Let me make a glimpse of the entire thing that we talked, that we learned today actually. So we learned how to install Anaconda. We learned the introduction of Python, why Python, where Python, and what is the future use of Python. Okay. Now we learned how to install VS Code. We learned what is the use of Jupyter Notebook and how to what is the interpreter language properly called as. Then we learned what is environment variables, and we learned how to link your Python VS Code. Sorry, not Python. Your VS Code with Anaconda. How to link it through environment variable. Then we knew how to check whether the Python has successfully installed in your system or not. When we checked, we learned how to print hello world in Python using VS Code, and we learned how to execute a Python code using path. So these are the things that we learned today, and you practice these all things. You will find the link of the video in your mail soon. Uh, so just practice your things and get these things to done. If you find any problem, any issues, tomorrow 15 minutes will be the means you can ask your doubts, your queries. So if you have any queries, you can ask it tomorrow, or else if you have any queries, you can put it down now. If you don't have any queries now, you can put it on in the tomorrow's session. So I will be waiting for your queries. Just put down your queries if you have anything.